You know what's pretty great? Water. If you've ever heard of the rules of 3, you've heard that you can't survive 3 days without water. But I want to challenge this, and I'm only challenging this because this is wildly inaccurate for so many different reasons. That's not what this video is about, but stick with me for just 1 second. Hey everyone, Morgan here, and today we're going to be talking about how your family can best store water for your situation, whatever situation you may be in. There's no exact amount of time in which you'll become dehydrated, but the basics of dehydration is you're either not bringing in enough liquids or you are exerting yourself in which you are losing a lot of fluid, like with exercising or, like you're breastfeeding or whatever the case may be, you are getting dehydrated faster. If you don't drink water, even within like 4 hours or so, you can start feeling dehydrated, very thirsty. Once you start feeling thirsty, you're already starting to feel dehydrated. You're not excessively dehydrated at that point, but your body is starting to say, hey, I need water, okay? Our bodies need so much water. So I want to say right off the bat that 1 gallon a day is not enough. Period. 2 gallons a day is minimum. I mean, I would even go for way more than that, because that 1 gallon a day should be for drinking alone. You should be continually sipping on water throughout the day to stay properly hydrated. Not only should you stay hydrated because of your general health, but you should stay hydrated because when you eat food, your body needs that water to properly digest things. You don't need a ton of water, but a little bit of water, okay? So saying that you can survive 3 days without water is really theoretical at best, because really once you get past that 1 day point, you're going to be hurting so bad. You could be vomiting, you could be having diarrhea, you could be having a severe cramps, you could be having, mental fatigue and just fatigue in general. You could be having so many other issues that maybe you're not surviving. You're just trying to hang on, right? That's no way to survive. It's no way to thrive, okay? So let's find the ways that you can store water and keep water on hand, or at least be able to find water, access water, have clean water ready to go. Okay, so the first one is water storage containers. Any water storage containers, there's a lot of options out there. I'm kind of throwing some pictures here on the screen, but water storage containers are probably one of the best ways that you can do it, because you can just store your tap water in there. You could put like a little bit of bleach or tablets or something in there as you put it in there. Make sure that you've cleaned them out and stack them up. Even in apartments, there are stackable options. If you live on land or a little bit bigger space, you could have cisterns that are outside or buried to store water as well. Bathtub water storage. I love the bathtub water storage because it's so easy. You just hook it up, you just put it in your bathtub, hook it up to your faucet, and just water comes out and fills up this bathtub, this bladder that is going to give you so much access to just ready to go water. Now, if you don't have the bladder, you can still fill up your bathtub. Make sure that your bathtub is clean, or sanitize the water before you take it out of that bathtub. And also fill up your sinks. Fill up your, any sort of bowls or cups or literally anything, buckets, fill it all up. Rainwater harvesting. I love rainwater harvesting. I think it's one of the best things that you can do for yourself and your family and your pets in order to have water easily and readily accessible to you. Rainwater, you don't have to get complicated. In like apartment spaces, you can just get a bucket, stick it outside when it's raining, collect that water, okay? Don't overcomplicate it. Now, if you want a more complicated system, not complicated, but a more robust system, like if you have your own land or space or whatever, and of course you can get the 275-gallon totes or whatever else and put those outside and collect water in those. I've even made it out of a trash can. This is my infamous trash can rainwater collection system that I used for years, and it was beautiful. It worked amazing. If you're on well water like we are, I highly recommend that you have some sort of pump, cistern, and or generator in order to run your pump. Most wells will have some sort of pump to get that well out of the ground, right? So you want a hand pump, you want a solar system in order to run your pump, you need some sort of generator to run your pump. We are going to be doing a DIY pump in the future, so look out for that. But you can also have a buried cistern, or you can have an above ground cistern, a black cistern, that you have always filled with water, but you're still going to have to get the water out of there somehow, right? With a pump or something. Now, if you have a gravity fed that's above, that's really ideal because then you have gravity fed, right? You don't have to have a pump, but that is something that you'll have to consider if that's an option for you. Okay, so water filters, I think everybody should have suitable water filters for them. You need to invest in all types of water filters. Even though you have all of these sources, like with the cisterns and the tap water and the bathtub and all this, like you're collecting all this water, but maybe you want to sanitize it. Maybe, you're just uncertain. It's sat there for a while and you just want to sanitize it before you consume it or use it for cooking purposes, something like that. So invest in lots of water filters, purifiers, things like that. Reverse osmosis. Filter and boil, distillation, tablets, bleach. Bleach only has a 1-year shelf life, UV, and any other filtration and purification methods. Bottled water. Honestly, bottled water is one of the most easily accessible. And while I understand the bottled water industry is like it's just evil, okay? I get that. But for emergency purposes, bottled water is one of the absolute best ways to have water right there on hand, ready to go, okay? You have bottled water that is right there. It's already purified. It's already sealed. It's already ready to go. You grab it, open, that's it, right? So not just, it's the gallon size, it's the small size, whatever you want, but bottled water is one of the best ways and easiest ways that you can immediately store water. Keep it in a cool, dark place. No matter what we're talking about with any of this water, keep it away from direct sunlight. So even the cisterns, it should be black and you should be purifying it with bleach or UV or whatever you want to do if it's outside. Same with the rainwater, you will definitely want to sanitize or purify that before you use it, whatever we're talking about. But bottled water, some have said that it actually could have an infinite shelf life. I know some are concerned with the plastic leaching. Honestly, I wouldn't really be concerned about it. You can throw it through a filter or a purification method if you want before you use it. Freeze your water. That's right. I love to freeze water. I reuse old bottles of we get this. I had did a short about it a while ago. We get these like bubbly waters, and then I refill it and then put it in the freezer. We have our freezer full of water. In fact, I need to take some out because we need that freezer room. But anyway, my point is freeze all the water. Refill old bottles of water. Put it in the freezer. Now you have frozen water ready to go whenever you want and or need it. You can stick the bottle of water in warm water in order to melt the water or the ice faster. And also in freezing water, I do want to mention snow. If you live in a very snowy place like I do, you can always take snow and melt it, sanitize, purify, whatever you want after that. Snow is a great resource for having water in wintertime. All right, the last one I want to talk about is community water sources. Community water sources such as pools, lakes, rivers, those types of options that are available for you that might be nearby-ish. When it comes to community water sources, we have to think of a couple things. One, how are you going to access it? How are you going to bring it back, haul it back? And also security needs, right? So how are you going to keep this under wraps that you're doing this so that other people in a sort of crisis situation aren't seeing you haul all this water and be like, what are you doing? Where are you taking that? I want that water, right? Also, this is where the water purification and filtration systems will be coming in as well. If you are going to be getting water from swimming pools or things like that. Now, community water sources are great in a lot of places. They are not available in a ton of places, but you could also get your own little above ground swimming pool, fill it up, cover it, make sure that it's sanitized year round, all that kind of stuff, so that it doesn't get yucky and gross from the constant sun beating on it, right? In saying community water sources, a Silcock key is also a really good resource to have. If you can go to public buildings and you can use the Silcock key, I'm showing some things here on the screen. You can use the Silcock key in urban situations to get water from outside of buildings. This is only to be used in an emergency situation, not for every day, okay? So emergency situations for the Silcock key only. All right. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope that this was educational. Water is one of the, I think, hardest ways to store water. I talk about it a lot and people always want to fight me that it's not hard, but we consume so much water. just an enormous amount of water. Not only do we consume it, but we use it for cleaning. We use it for, washing dishes and clothes and, ourselves, and we use water. If you can reduce your water usage in whatever way possible by taking, by getting waterless soap, by, taking, sponge baths, by using local, water sources for just cleaning dishes, things like that, or maybe using paper dishes for short term, like paper plates and disposable items for short term, so you're not having to use water to wash dishes, these kinds of things. Learn to conserve water and for short term periods, and for longer term periods, we hold water for a long time. And let me tell you, you learn how to conserve water real quick, because you don't want to have to go out, hauling water every single day, because you're just like wasting hundreds and hundreds of gallons a day. And not wasting necessarily, but using for, the purposes that you want to use it for laundry, for, dishes, for, drinking, for eating, cooking, all these things the water is used for. Water is literally life. Take it seriously. Find which ways are going to be best for you and your situation to prep water. And the last thing I want to show you, look at how beautiful our birch trees are. I love fall. Okay, thank you all so much for watching Conquer Tomorrow by Preparing Today. Let me know down in the comments how you're storing water, or how you want to store water in the future, how you're planning to store water, any of that, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.